Welcome to Big Brother NSFW, and I have to say Super Bowl, baby, because we have a special episode tonight. Along with Johnny and Karen and myself, we're going to be joined by a special guest, the star of the show on season 6 and 7, the Jedi-master himself. He's a beefcake. He's a big boy. Hurricane Howie's in the house. Howie, how are you doing?
Well, when you say he's a beefcake, did you say big boy? I thought you said, I'm not sure if you said, because I just got back from Chicago a couple of days ago, 2 weeks. I didn't eclipse my weight from last year because I didn't snack as much, but meal-wise, I probably had more pizza, Chinese, no joke, in the last 2 weeks than I've had the last year. And then I had pizza about 2 hours ago because I'm on no sleep because I'm trying to prove that my COVID test was negative, but I can't get the physical copy. So I've been calling and emailing, and finally I took a screenshot and I got it, but I've had no sleep and I traveled on Friday. So that's why, even at 80%, I'm the best looking guy in Survivor and Big Brother history. But that's why I look a few pounds overweight right now and maybe a little bit, tired because I haven't been getting this. I never look as good as Johnny, but I'm trying. I'm trying.
Howie, we will end the show with a couple of peek behind the curtain stories between our antics collectively, and holy moly. Fasten your seatbelt, folks.
I'm excited.
Awesome. Well, Howie, we have to start asking about two of your fellow two-time competitors, Janelle and Kaysar, back in the house. How does it feel to be watching them on TV?
I think it's awesome. I mean, when I started hearing the rumors, everyone in the world knew Janelle was coming back because she's the face of Big Brother. She's been in there, 1,000 days now, I think, total, in all of her seasons. But I called Kaysar probably about 3 weeks ago, right when the rumors came out, and I talked to him for about 20 minutes. I haven't talked to him in a while. I had his wrong phone number for about 5 years, so I'm wishing him happy birthday, and you guys never getting back to me. I'm like, what's wrong with this guy? Never saying thank you. Today's his birthday, too. Happy birthday. What up, Kaysar? Never responds to me. But I talked for about 20 minutes on FaceTime. I hear the baby yelling in the background. He's walking around. Going on Big Brother, Howie, does it look like I'm in sequester? And I almost believed him, but every time I talked a little bit about gameplay, about Janelle, he got really caught in like a little bit of a daze, like, why? What do you think she did there? And I'm like, that's kind of weird behavior. And when I got off, I'm thinking, wait a minute. Just those little bit of tidbits that he was giving me, I'm like, he's going on. I know he's on the non-disclosure. We all sign it and doesn't want to get sued or thrown off the show. So after I hung up with him, after talking about 20, 30 minutes on Facebook, I knew he was going back on, but he didn't want to come clean, with the non-disclosure. Where was I going with that? 2 seasons I played with Janelle and Janey, back-to-back seasons. First time they're both back on without me there. Kind of weird. I feel like I'm there kind of, watching them on there. I won't get it. I'll let you, go to the questions in a second, but just watching, an episode or two, it looks like they're under the gun once again, just like on All-Stars when we came back in 06. It was the 4 of us, adding James and myself in there, and it was like 10 on 4, and now it looks like they're ganging up on the old schoolers again and coming after them. They caught a little bit of a break here and there, but we'll continue to see. But I'm excited as all heck. A lot of people are like, really quick. Yeah. So I went on vacation actually Friday, July 24th was my last day. And I went to Chicago for 2 weeks. It was like almost exact timing. Guys started going into sequester. And then people were like, whoa, Howie hasn't been on the news since the 24th. Where is he? And then I started getting all this, people think I'm in sequester and I was going too, because the timing was about exactly the same as everybody getting pulled away. I left television. Like, where's Howie? He's not on TV anymore. Where's he? Is he in sequester? Is he going on? So, no, it's totally cool.
You didn't plan that to troll everybody?
I didn't at all. It just happened to be that way. Like we didn't know. I mean, they kept changing. Is it going to be All-Stars? Is it going to be this? And I know guys got contacted months and months ago, but we didn't know like definitively until about maybe 5-6 weeks ago. And I'm like, is it going to be All-Stars? Is it going to start on schedule because of the COVID? And my understanding, I don't know officially, but Josh and Casey, did they have COVID? They didn't make it on.
Josh, I believe, has come out and said it was a false positive. Which has got to be so demoralizing after how much effort he put into pre-gaming.
That's horrible. Yeah, my one guy I wanted to see go out in week 1. He never even got there, so that sucks. But no, it's
Did you get a
surreal.
call?
What's that?
Did you get a call?
No, I didn't get a call, John. You know what? I don't think, kind of like Survivor, they couldn't handle you nowadays. All these new guys, and I really don't. I look at the cast now. You know, there's some ballers out there. Do you really think they could handle me if they tried me the wrong way? And you know, and I just burst into attitude like I have so many times. I mean, I don't think they can handle it, to be honest with you. Didn't get the call. I got called for Big Brother Canada 4 about 4 or 5 years ago, right after I just started the weather. Now, I held off for about an extra 5 years. My big hobby now is Bigfooting. I've seen Bigfoot a couple times. I've had 15, 20 encounters in 11 years that I've been going into the mountains. So I tried out for a couple of Bigfoot shows, and I was really this far to getting on. So I had to pass up on some weather gigs. I didn't want to start the weather and a month later go, oh, sorry, I got to leave, guys. I got the call for this Bigfoot show. So I held off on it. So I had just started the weather about in May of 2015, and that was right around the timing of that Big Brother Canada show. And I just broke into the business, and I just couldn't leave at the time. But no, they didn't call me for this one. I was kind of let down. At the same time, I don't know if I could have went, since I'm doing the weather now up here in Alaska, having a good time and getting exponentially better. But as I look at the cast, I don't know. There's some people that are on the show that maybe I don't think even should have been on it the first time. So not putting me on there, I don't know. I mean, Johnny and I, there's a couple people out there that are good, but Johnny and I are more entertaining than most of the people on the current cast, probably in our big toe. No joke. So I'm not like, maybe I don't belong there. Maybe I'm really too good for what's going on nowadays.
Yeah, Howie, I don't want to bury the lead. You've encountered Bigfoot.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been going out since 2009.
Okay.
It started off finding footprints and broken branches, like whoa, and casting plaster Paris footprints. And then by about 2011, I realized that these Bigfoots no one's going to believe me, and I get it, because until you have this encounter, craziness. But I will never discount anything when it comes to God or this person, saw Elvis in their backyard. I'll never discount it, because what I have seen just doesn't add up logically. But by about 2011, I started seeing things, orbs of light, energy that you just don't explain, that move consciously. And then by 2014, had a visual of a face. Then by 2016, one walked right up to me. Nighttime, but with the sun, with the moon the way it was, and the stars, it was almost broad daylight. Walked up to me within about 10 feet. You just lay in your cots. They walk up to you. I've seen orbs. I've seen shimmering images where I walk up in a ghostly type of appearance, and then again, I've seen the dead visual. Walking up to within 10 feet of me. They do mind speak, where they can talk to you in the mind. It hasn't had that, but they put visions in my head while I was wide awake, so very close to the mind speak. They zap you up with energy. You go to your doctor, and then you get your PPO, and they print it out. Okay, $400. We look at your ankle. It's not like that, but they shoot you up with energy. They look to heal things, and they're doing all kinds of healing. You just hope for the best that they worked on something, or they're continuing to work on you in the future. But the craziest thing, I've been on Big Brother. I've done the weather. I've scuba dived. Probably the most fascinating thing to this day is having encounters with Bigfoot and the Bigfoot forest people. Absolutely.
I would say so.
How big is Bigfoot?
The one I saw is about 7 feet. They go about 7'10", maybe even 11 feet, full grown. Once again, they're beings of light. Their natural state of existence is invisible. They slow it down so that we can see them, and then they shapeshift from that orb of light, green, white, or red, whatever they want to be, and into that being that we can become more familiar with, that kind of looks human, kind of looes ape-like. Then there's the bad ones that are physical beings at all time, and they're kind of scary in the face, and they're not looking out for humans' best interest. But I haven't ran into those yet, just the good ones. When you see the good ones, you're okay, you're safe.
Wow, and this was in Alaska.
Haven't seen them in Alaska. I've seen bear hair, but I do live in the Alaska Triangle, where there's really more bizarre encounters, paranormals, Bigfoots, even compared to the Bermuda Triangle down there out in the ocean. So a very paranormal or Bigfoot type place. More disappearances here since 2005, really, than anywhere else in the country or even in the world for that matter. But I've been going to the Pacific Northwest. So Southern Oregon, Southern Washington. I go every year. Not sure about this year, with the COVID, my buddy and I that we usually meet up with. And, just obviously slowed a lot of things down with travel and everything else. But if I don't get out this year, I'll get right back to it again next summer. But I've been going out almost every summer since 2009, and encounters have become more extravagant, or just more eccentric, or just more advanced, if you will, every single year. Just the greatest thing. You guys are invited, man. You come out sometime, you'll be mind blown. Yeah, I'm serious. You'll be mind blown. It's absolutely fascinating.
Is it strange that I want to go Bigfoot hunting with
not in the least,
Howie? No, okay,
not in the least.
I have been.
That's a TV show right there.
That'd be a great TV show. I mean, and you've been on, countless. You're like the Bob Hope of reality TV. We used to talk about that, John. You've been on countless TV shows. This could be your greatest one of them all. You got Bigfoot, then you got the luxury of hanging out with Big Brother Howie, probably getting paid to do it. No, it'd be a lot of fun, because I've had some of the greatest times I've had is partying with the Big Brother people, the reality people, the survivor people. But the next best thing, if not right there, it's been going out doing some Bigfooting. So if we got a show out there in the woods, would be a lot of fun. That might be something in the works, Johnny. Might be something for our future here.
Let's see what we can do. Let's see.
Howie, I assume that partying with Bigfoot would be the top, right? That would be the pinnacle of experience, right? Then partying with reality stars.
I mean, let's be honest. Who's probably the most popular person in our society? Probably Jesus. Goes back thousands of years. Bigfoot potentially has been here for millions of years. So really, out of all the celebrities, Johnny being maybe top 2 or 3 that I've met and that I photographed with, Bigfoot just might be the number one, because he's been shining a lot longer and for just a longer period of time than all of us. So if you say you met Bigfoot, you partied with Bigfoot, then you got to let. I've seen Johnny a picture with Obama. I met Trump back in 2000. So we both met a president or two. But Bigfoot has been going on for a long time. So that he might be the pinnacle of all celebs when you really do break it down.
I'm bringing weaponry, and I'm going to destroy Bigfoot. And then that'll just put me higher on the list.
That would put you up there. You'd have a tough time, because once again, my friends are beings of light traveling at the speed of light, 186,000 feet, or I forget. I'm a little tired. 186,000 miles or feet per second, whatever it is. So pretty quick, Johnny. I've seen you in action in some of those competitions, but pretty quick. So it'd be a tough one for you to grab one of those guys.
Yeah, well, when I take a Blue Chew, I'm not quick at all. So. And now a word from Blue Chew.
Whatever that means, I think you might have a better shot. Correct.
Yeah, well, I guess let's roll into talking about the episode. I don't know how to segue that, but
yeah. Well, real quick, before we get there, who are the biggest oversights in your mind for this All-Star season? If you had to pick 3.
Okay, I'm a little tired. Oversight, like best or worst, or shouldn't be there. What does that mean?
Who really should have been there in your mind that's not there?
Oh, I mean, come on. Who the greatest player of all time, hands down, Dr. Will Kirby. But I think he hung his cleats up a long time ago. He won it on Big Brother 2, and I'm watching that again. Absolutely fantastic season if you haven't seen BB2. And then on the All-Star show, goes right into the Final Four. Probably the reason Boogie won. Really just, he was a marked man, and much like, season 6 people were on All-Stars. But this guy on the All-Star show went right down to the end, probably even should have won Big Brother All-Stars. Then right after him, Dan, player 1A, 1B, Dan Giesling, just a phenomenal player. Never been evicted in Big Brother history, playing for 2 seasons now. Without those two, I mean, come on. So that's your All-Star starting off. Then Janey belongs there, no question. I mean, she's the biggest bad, in Big Brother history when it comes to winning those events. Kind of got a raw deal in the last time because was a coach and just really never got a chance to play before she got sent home a little early. Then Rachel Riley, if she wasn't having a baby, she'd probably be right back on there as well. So you put, without those 4, Janey's there obviously, but you need those 4 really to call it a true Big Brother All-Stars. Am I missing anybody? I mean, they get a lot of talk about Derek and, Cody's there, but I don't know. I mean, you got to really throw him back to see. Maybe he was a one-hit wonder. He was great during his season, but you've seen Dan, you've seen Will, you've seen Janey now her 4th time. You've seen Rachel do what she can do season after season. So without those 4, when it comes to strategizing and overall comp piece, those are by far, in my opinion, the 4 best players in Big Brother history. Then you can't count out James Ryan, who I played 2 seasons with. He could be the greatest player to never win the game. He had guys like me holding him down. So he's playing with a crutch now with me, slowing down his gameplay. And then, All-Stars, similar things happen once again. But those 5 players I just talked about, you could have an All-Star show every single season when you bring those 5 back, because they had every dichotomy and every angle of the game of Big Brother deception and just winning and dominating play like I've never seen in Big Brother history.
There you have it.
There it is. Well, here's what we'll do. So a lot has happened in the house since we last spoke. Our last episode, we talked right after the house guests moved in. Tonight, we're going to go through everything that we saw on the Sunday night episode, everything that happened on the feeds that didn't make the episode. And then at the very end, we'll dive a little bit into some feed spoilers, what happened with the POV and what we can expect later on this week, and give some predictions as to how we think this week might turn out.
Yeah, but we'll give you a spoiler warning once it gets to everything past Sunday night.
Exactly. So Johnny, Karen, we talked about the first episode. It was a little strange, that live move-in event. We've got our first normal episode of the season. First time we've got diary rooms. Karen, what did you think of this first Sunday night episode?
I'm sure the first thing that we saw, I don't know what you guys want to thought about it. I'm really of 2 minds of it. Just the intro videos or the little snippets that they're giving for each person. I don't think they've ever done anything like this before, where we see like 4 or 5 different shots of everybody. And it's good because they can say, oh, this person is married. Oh, they have a significant other. They have a kid. It's like a good way. And it looks like there's at least 1 shot of their original season as well. So it's kind of like in 3 seconds, we're just going to kind of lay out people's history for you, if you will, which I found was kind of interesting. But then we're missing all of those great poses that normally, the general intro that they do in most seasons is, there's just, you're standing there in front of, a green screen, and you have to cross your arms, or you have to give them the finger guns, or, so we lost that. And that is that's just the kind of ridiculous that I live for in Big Brother, and we're losing that. So
I really wanted to see what Kaysar was going to do in one of those funky dance moves. I just couldn't keep doing it. So that's a loss, but at least we still get the intro. There was a goofy one floating around on social media that I'm glad was not real, of them doing the hand up to the camera deal and then passing the phone. So we got that. Johnny, what were your thoughts on the episode?
Well, as far as the intro is concerned, I love them owning the have-nots room, and just like, will our contestants or house guests finally make it into the have-not room? And, because it was a real shit show on the premiere, and that just, live television is live television. Why that door needed to be locked is beyond me. I understand the main door, it's just like, hey, don't go in. But the sliding door is like whatever's intern job it was to put a lock on that. It's just like, for what? So I love that they embraced it, had fun with it, and moved on from there. I thought that was cool. So because some people take themselves too seriously, and for Big Brother, as a whole, to say, we get it, guys. We saw the clusterfuck that it was, and we're with you. We're laughing too. So, and there was probably lots of screaming going on that wasn't shown.
You think that intern is still working for CBS at this time?
Probably not.
I don't know. We're laying some groundwork. We hear
to find COVID tested interns in 2020. It's a pretty tough gig. So
you're right. Yeah. They might have to keep them by default, just for the fact that they can't keep throwing people in there. Now,
Howie is Bigfoot on the side of your screen. I think
there might have been a sighting. Well, actually, I got my picture on the wall. We'll close with that later on. I'll zoom in on my wall, because the one I actually saw, I had an artist rendering and putting them up on my wall, but that was just one. That was Obi the kitty cat. So Star Wars, Bigfoot, all in the same type of mix for me. Jedi, Bigfoot, Hurricane, Howie. But no, what you're talking about though, yeah. So with the COVID, obviously that's probably why they did an all-star season. Can't go meeting new people, flying them back and forth. They already got people on the radar from past seasons. Hey, we'll just bring him in because we know it. So yes, very anomalous, or whatever you want to call it, word-wise. Okay. Here's a live episode, first time in Big Brother history. Obviously, they did it because of the COVID. But for me, it was great because, like you said, they show them and they show a couple flashbacks to past seasons. So for the 3 to 6 seconds I got when they showed Janey and Kaysar, people are screenshotting. Oh, how are you getting your residual check? I see you on there. And there's people watching the weather here in Alaska. Wow, I didn't know you were a Big Brother alumni. I saw crazy for the 1,000, the 1,000, the 1,000. I was on there with the green shirt. People are seeing me on there. Then Entertainment Tonight, someone said they saw me on Entertainment Tonight. So for that little 3-second capture when they were probably talking about Janelle, and they caught me on there. So it kind of put me back in the limelight, even though I didn't go back on the show. So pretty cool. Then my buddy, he swears by it. He said he was watching the golf yesterday, the PGA Championship on golf, and he says, I heard your voice, and I'll trust no one. He said, I swear it was your voice. And I sent an email to the producer. I said, hey, out of curiosity, am I on some of the B-roll or the commercials you guys are throwing out there? And they said, I haven't seen them all. I don't know specifically, but it's not out of the realm of possibility that you're on some of these commercials. So my buddy said he heard me on one of the commercials yesterday while he was watching the golf. So I don't know. With the newfound All-Star show, I guess that's probably why you guys call me like the Hurricane Howie guy. Maybe he's not so washed up. We'll give him another shot, and that's probably why you guys call me, because another All-Star season put me back on the map again. So yeah, very, very different compared to what we saw. A house like no other, 4,005,000 cameras and microphones and all this. We used to get pumped up for that and then see where these people are from. But yeah, a little different. But I just think with the times and where we are, it's probably one of the few ways they could do it.
Yeah. The other thing I was also just wondering, though, I mean, in all seriousness, I was thinking about this. The fact that door to the have not room was locked, it's not just a matter of getting the intern to go in there, because my understanding is, basically the house itself, with the exception of the storage room, right, where obviously they have to go in and put their groceries in, they basically want to keep that, my understanding is, just kind of sealed off, right, that nobody goes in there. They just don't have to worry about infection. So just having somebody go in there, I'm sure that they have ways of doing it. They put them in a hazmat suit, and they push, but it's not as simple as it would normally have been in a situation.
I am a loyal guy, and you saw it because that's why I got evicted, number one, Big Brother. I was in sequester one time in Mexico doing my jog, and some car comes running up, Howie, during the All-Stars before the finale show, Howie, and I'm just like, don't tell me what happened. I don't want to know. I just kind of, I go with the way it is. So in Big Brother 6, I'm going into the store, you buzz in, they buzz you in. I walked in there, and while I was in there, I don't know if it was an intern or whatever, starts coming in through the other door. I'm like, whoa, I'm in here. And he literally would have walked in and been in there with me if I wouldn't have yelled, don't come in here. And I kind of looked away, just being the integrity or using the integrity or whatever integrity I have left in me. And so a guy almost walked in there. But I think you hit on the head, Karen. If they are, you saw all those fruits and veggies and the food in the storage room, that's really the only overlap you have with production, because they are bringing that food in there physically. Then they're either, like you said, being very careful, spraying down, washing down, and wearing a suit to put that food in there. Because, yeah, it's getting in there, and I'm sure they have to have some people bring it in there somehow. But that's really the only place. Well, HOH, I guess when they'll switch it out here and there, then production will be in there. But for the most part, most consistently, yeah, they're going to be in that storage room, bringing food or switching luggage, in and out of the place.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Well, we start off seeing some of the relationships that really dominated this week. We see Cody and Nicole strategizing together in the HOH room, and we see Janelle and Kaysar being lumped together. Also, Janelle talks about being the first 4-time player of Big Brother US, so that's fantastic. But
now, sorry, buddy.
No, I was just going to say Janelle and Kaysar once again targeted straight off the bat. That seems to be their story. 3 times the charm on that one. What do they need to do here to adapt? I know they're an obvious pair when they come in, just like they were in All-Stars, and they were on the outs early in 6. What are they supposed to do here to try to distance themselves, even when everyone knows they're a pair, or how can they adapt into this house?
Well, first of all, when I was coming back for Big Brother All-Stars, production says to me, we had a few meetings before they, brought us back and interviews, and they're like, there's a lot of people out there, talking about they're coming back on this All-Star season, and your name was at the top of the list that you're going around telling people, and I was not, but they do it to put the fear of God in you, and I didn't tell I was living in California and my family at the time was in Chicago. I didn't tell one family member because they scared the crap out of me. A, I didn't want to get sued. I don't know if they do it. Or B, I didn't want to not get on the show. So I really told no one, whereas all these people are getting these pre-alliances going. Janelle and Kaysar, just like how Kaysar pulled it on me last month. I didn't get asked. I'm not coming back. And not until they did that special casting episode did they know that I was in the hunt to come back that summer, because I just wouldn't tell anybody. But there were tons of pre-alliances going on. Boogie was dating Erica before the show. All these people were talking. So it destroyed the integrity of the game. Here I am in the house trying to have a conversation or, maybe even have an alliance with someone, and it's just not working out because they're already preconceived or alliances already that were developed, before the show. And that's kind of BS, man. It's not a fair way for the game. I don't know if they can ever control that.
Yeah,
and now
I hate it in that as a viewer, I feel like I missed the first 3 chapters of the book.
You're exactly right. What was going on, part of the story that they weren't even showing. They might as well started filming all those conversations and filming them at their house so they could put the whole, you're not starting on chapter 4 like you're talking about, Johnny. And This is happening once again. From what I've seen, and maybe I've heard here and there, Bailey and Janey were already aligned. How did Danny Donato know that? Because Danny's already telling. I thought Danny was going to align with Kaysar and Janey. Maybe we'll find out. I mean, you guys probably know more about me. I've watched a little live feeds. Danny seems pretty close to Nicole. Nicole doesn't look like she wants Janey and Kaysar around. So there's obvious alliances going on, and that defeats the integrity of the game. And here we are once again. We're on chapter 3 or 4 when the show just started 3 or 4 days ago. All these pregame alliances, it makes it unfair to the person that abided by the non-disclosure and didn't tell anybody. And it takes away from, when they're putting their hands together, final 2, final 4, what's the real final 2? They're already talking. I heard that Memphis and Cody are in an alliance where they're maybe not showing it on TV. I heard they're having an alliance together because they played very similar games with Dan and with Derek. So now Janey and Kaysar, we were the marked men. Season 6, whether we went after Chilltown or the rest of the house, because they were gunning for us, because we were the freshest season, the most popular season from the year before, Big Brother 6, summer of 05, to also the biggest alliance in the house. We're coming in with 4 people. That's scary. No matter whether you put 4 dunces in there, that's 4 bodies for 4 votes, or a better shot at winning the head of household. Now, here we are 15 years later, Janey and Kaysar, okay, they're going to be the odd ones because they played so long ago, at least Kaysar, 14 seasons ago. Last appearance was in 06 for the All-Star show. So they're looking, what's an easy way out? Okay, let's get these old guys that, no one really knows because they played 20 years ago. Let's get them out. At the same time, Kaysar and Janelle, they won a lot of events and competitions when you put them both together. They were paired together for 2 seasons in a row, so going to scare a lot of people. I don't know. When you're good, when you're good in the real world, you get promoted and you make more money. When you're good in the Survivor world, when you're good in the Big Brother world, people want to get you out of there because they fear that you're in their path for the $500,000 or the $1 million. Now, the thing about Big Brother, even Survivor, from week to week, the whole dichotomy can change. Public enemy number 1 could be at the top of the game the next week, or vice versa. The guy that was, everybody was gunning for, or did I say it the other way? Or the person that was, not even on the radar the next week, all of a sudden the house is gunning for them. Now, do you remember the show that Hayden Moss won, The Brigade?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
season 12.
You got 4 guys hanging out, working out all summer long, all by themselves. No one ever notices that because we got to get Brendan out. We got to get Rachel out. So you get this distraction all year long while 4 guys just hanging out, and everyone leaves them alone till the final 6. And by that time, it's just too little, too late. They got the numbers, they got the power, they got everything else. So the game can change, or all of a sudden, somebody. And I'm not taking anything away from Chilltown. Dr. Will, probably the best of all time. Boogie's up there. He's played some good things, but Boogie and Will had a pass because everyone's gunning for season 6 with 4 members, while Chilltown just coast all the way to the halfway point. And by that time, okay, they got the upper hand, and that could happen. That could change again. But as of right now, if Janey and Kaysar aren't winning HOHs, or someone that they're aligned with aren't doing it, the odds once again are stacked against them. And I just think it comes with their so-called Big Brother fame, which they were very, very popular and for good meaning, because I mean they won, they got all the America's votes, call-ins and gifts from home. America fell in love with them, and really our season 6, Evil Dick never gives me the credit to this day, but because of what happened and most of my mess ups and not letting the narrative go our way on season 6, summer of 05, a lot of people wanted us to win, Janelle win, Kaysar win, me win, see James go all the way to that. When that didn't happen, Big Brother started getting more involved, controlling the narrative. You saw what happened on Big Brother 8. You had America's Player with Eric. So Evil Dick walks in the house, already 1 week immunity. He gets Danny, his daughter, who has his back from day, or maybe not from day one, but they aligned after that, and she had his back the rest of the way. And then you had America with Eric getting dictated and voting for Evil Dick, who probably would have went home in week 2 or 3 and ends up winning the show. So Big Brother likes to control the narrative after their so-called stars or their story didn't go the right way. Because at the end of the day, yes, it's a competition, but it's also a television show that they want to go a certain way. They want that ending to keep the viewers happy and content if they can do it within reason, and that's what they do. So who knows? Maybe there's a twist other than what we saw already to keep Janelle and Kaysar alive for a week. Really quick, if they knew what was going down, only Janey or Kaysar should have competed.
Why did they both go into the safety suite?
So I believe the reasoning for that is if only one of them would have gone in, it would have had a time limit. It wouldn't have been a head-to-head competition. So they were worried that one of them would not have beaten the time limit, and then neither would have been safe.
Okay, but with 2 competing, you're guaranteed a winner.
Yes.
So they really should. That being the case, they really should have pushed for Keisha to compete against one of them, because I think either one of them could have beat her.
So what are you saying? What if one of them only did it?
Yeah, if one of them, Zach's saying if only one of them did it, say they have 10 minutes to complete it, and if they don't complete it in 10 minutes, then,
I get it now. Now I understand. Okay, so if they would have went 12 minutes, boom, you didn't get it. Now nobody's safe. Okay, so they went with the better odds, and it worked out for them. Okay, because I was questioning that. I'm like, maybe I missed something there.
The only thing better than what they did is I pushed for Keisha to go against. If I'm Kaysar or Janelle, one of the two of them pushed for Keisha to compete against me, and you're probably going to beat Keisha.
Right. No, you're probably right.
Too long. That would have been a really smart move, though. Yeah. I mean, for a show that loves to explain how the competitions work for about 30 minutes of every episode, they didn't explain that. They kind of left Janelle and Kaysar out to dry, looking silly on that.
Yeah.
I was the guy down there going, wait. We do what again? We turn where? I mean, I was like asking. Yeah. I'm like, my Big Brother life is on the line, guys. I want to know what I'm supposed to do here.
Yeah, real quick, Howie, I got to throw this out there. In the history of all-star and callback seasons in all of reality television, Survivor, Big Brother, Amazing Race, any of these that brought, I think the first that Big Brother All-Stars one might be one of the greatest casts in the history of reality television.
I would agree with you. Now, here I'll get into the thing as a whole. My problem was, as much as I want, you get in there, you get a taste of the limelight, like, get me back on television, man. You feel it going through your veins like the Force does. And I want, so Big Brother 6 ends in September. 9 months later, I'm back in the Big Brother All-Star House, season 7, summer of 06. 9 months later, I'm still decompressing from my first stint on TV as much as I wanted to go. I'm getting flown out to 50th birthday parties, getting paid. I'm getting flown out to weddings, getting paid. I'm hanging out with the Jonny Fairplays of the world, getting pictures going, oh my gosh, that's me and Johnny in the same photo. So here I am, still coming down to earth, and then I'm thrown back right in the limelight. I wasn't ready physically. I wasn't ready mentally. And it showed, because if it wasn't for Kaysar, James, and Janelle, even though I contributed in that first HOH, knocking Jacomas or Nokomis, whatever her name is, off that thing, I just wasn't ready to go back as much as I wanted to. And at the same time, all these years later, I understand the game now. I was all about, if you win this competition and you can hold more bricks in your hand, you're the better player. After all these years, I understand, outwit, outsmart. I finally understand the game now. I'd have a tremendous evolutionary advantage now, watching for all 22 seasons, to really understand the game, which I had no idea what I was doing, and it showed in my gameplay for 2 straight seasons, 15 years ago. Now, that cast you're talking about, like you said, Johnny did beat Dr. Will when it said greatest reality star or villain of all time over there at the Geisha House that one time. He got the trophy, but that was a tough one because Dr. Will, man, I mean, this guy.
I think overplayed too. It wasn't villain. It was just greatest reality star of all time.
It was greatest reality star of all time. So the stage was tipping, but Johnny got him. But, like you said, though, you put Dr. Will in there, at the time, Janey, who I think she won like 35 straight HOH competitions. You're bringing James back at the time, by far the greatest veto competitor of all time. Then Kaysar, you got, 3 trillion votes to come back in the House, and he's voted back in for the 3rd time. You had me and my antics, brought a lot of entertainment, other than the Savage and Jason the year before, my entertainment value pretty high up there. I definitely wasn't brought back for gameplay. Then you had some other studs on there, probably missing a few people, on there. Nokomis was great. She created all these rules. Danny, Big Brother 3, she created rules that changed the game. James, Big Brother 6, changed the rules. Instead of being able to select who you want for veto to backdoor someone, they started going to ping pong balls and spinning the wheel. So you had a lot of rule changers on the game, and you had just players that were absolutely phenomenal. Like you said, to this day, I'm not taking anything away from some of these all-stars. They're very well deserving. They've been great players. As I mentioned earlier, there's a few players back on the show that maybe shouldn't have been on the show the first time. But that first all-star team, like you said, in 06 was heavily stacked. And what the funny thing is, a lot of people didn't think Erica was going to make it on there. Boogie, who went out in week 4 of his first time on Big Brother 2, a lot of people didn't think he was going to make it back in there. And I can confirm this unofficially, but Dr. Will said, when I get brought into that all-star house, if Boogie doesn't follow me in there, I'm walking out. I'm walking off the set. So it's in your best interest to bring Boogie back in the house. I mean, I really do believe that to about a 90% level or higher. But here you got 2 people now that we didn't even think was coming back for all-stars, and they were number 1 and 2 at the end of the season, winning and taking 2nd place on the show. But as a whole, then Allison, who got sent home week 1, who scared the what out of me. She was super, super scary, and she went home in week 1. You had Danielle Reese coming back, had never been nominated to that point, and that was a true all-star cast. That really was, and the thing that really only put a little bit of a wrench in it was some of those pregame alliances. Other than that, like you said, that could be the greatest stage in reality television history for just the caliber of the players and villainous and overall entertainment value on one TV set. Yeah, I think you're right there, Johnny.
Yeah, Howie, I rewatched a few weeks ago, and it absolutely is one of the best seasons of reality TV ever.
It was all full of lies the whole season, though. Do you think so?
Of course. Well, that's a separate conversation, right? But it was great TV.
No, it was great TV. And then what Boogie and Will had going on. I was just talking to Boogie the other day. He called me when we were watching the opening show. You got Boogie and Will going in there. And Boogie, did you win veto today? No, I want a plasma TV. Will, did you win veto? No, I want a trip to Aruba. And they start dying over laughing. That was a hilarious season, and it was an absolute blast. But yeah, the caliber of people on that show, phenomenal. It really was. When is the last time you saw, a group like as high octane as what we saw? I don't think you're seeing it here with the 16 people they have in. A few people very deserving, great players. Maybe a few people in there that came back. Really, I don't think should have been on Big Brother or even a reality show in the first place.
Yeah, we keep talking a lot about these pre-existing relationships, some of the pregame alliances. I want to just circle back a little bit and talk about how important that is. We don't usually get all these feeds that we're getting this week because normally we would start watching the show like a week later. But since we got the live move-in, we're getting to see all this. And I'm just wondering how much of the dust is going to settle and some of these pre-existing relationships are going to disappear as people start to maybe want to work with who they like more. I don't think it's a spoiler to say 2 people who were working together quite closely in this episode that we saw on Sunday got into a pretty big blow up later in the week over how they believe the COVID virus is or is not real. some of those things are going to start to play out that you might be aligned with people you don't actually like living with. Jonny, Howie, you guys have both come back to play after your original season. How long do you think it'll take for those existing relationships to deteriorate? Or do you think they're going to hold through and people can put the living experience aside and go with these pregame alliances?
Yeah, Howie and I are the complete opposite, because for fans versus favorites, I pre-gamed Alliance, to the wall. I actually flew out to Los Angeles to meet with Jonathan Penner. We had Yao-Man on speakerphone, and we solidified our deal there. I'd worked out the deal with Eliza going out there. And what you don't understand, and this is what I hate about pregame alliances, all it does is fuck up the beginning of the game for someone. Maybe you, maybe someone else, but just someone. Because I got out there and Jonathan Penner was a dick. Yao-Man was a dick. I'm just I like everyone here other than these two people. My huge pregame alliance going in that I've talked to on the phone now 20 times. I've flown across the country to look this person in the eye to see if they're telling me the truth. And then living with them is not the same as talking to them on the phone. And living is just oh my God, I hate everything about you. Everything.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, like you said, I didn't do those pregame alliances, so I was going with, first of all, really, really cool. I go back. The only way I knew Jace was I saw him on TV, so sure. He's like a star to me. Dr. Will and Boogie had never met these guys before until here I am standing on a stage with them. I think Boogie and I played a little bit of phone tag, and then actually he had dyed his hair a different way when they're walking us in, before move-in day. And I'm standing 3 feet from him. He's looking at me, and he's smiling. Oh, I didn't know who he was for about 8 seconds. I'm like, oh, hey, buddy, what's up? And it's kind of surreal. Now, how long do they last? Well, you just got an example from Jonny. They didn't. He went in there with the people he realigned with, and they were like, Jonny who? And it throws off the integrity and the overall development of the game. And now you're talking about
to jump from that pregame alliance to something else is just you're telling the rest of the house is just yeah, I'm kind of a turncoat, but work with me. It's so hard. You're stuck there. As I said, you're fucking up either your game or someone else's game with that pregame alliance once it starts. But to branch from there and just be ooh, this sucks. This person snores. This person, I'm pretty sure, shits themselves on a daily basis. There's lots of things that you're just oh man, this really isn't going to work.
Well, the slop is really bad this year, so that might happen.
Yeah,
oh yeah, look out for that stuff. That stuff's deadly dangerous. But like you said, though, usually they move in. And about 12 days later, you get the first episode. And then the live feeds don't start until after that, where this year, completely the opposite. You can see those pregame alliances. Now, the rumor is, I don't know what's true. So Big Brother 8, Evil Dick and Danielle's first season, you had Nick and then you had Jennifer in there. Jennifer was saying, Nick tried to kiss me before the live feed started. We can never have proof of that because the live feeds weren't going yet. And they were developing all those relationships for those 12 days where you're only getting 3 hours of television show compared to 24 hours of live streaming that begins 12 days later. Whereas now on move-in day, other than those scant hours until the show aired out here in California and Alaska, then the live feed came on. Boom. We were watching, well, now probably chapter 3 like you're talking because of the pregame stuff, but you were starting at an infant stage now compared to 12 days back with all the other seasons of Big Brother. So yes, you're getting more of that live streaming and maybe seeing some of these people meet for the first time or talk and start some of this development. But things change on a dime in the Survivor game, in the Big Brother house. Public enemy number 1 might be, HOH the next week and he's the king of the castle, or vice versa. The guy that was, who knows, Cody next week might be on the block and getting ready to go home after, being H. I don't know. Yeah, maybe you'll talk
I would be more than cool with that.
Yeah. Oh, me too. Me too. Send him, Nicole, and send Christmas packing. I'm sorry.
I think Cody is actually having a pretty rough HOH week. I'd love to hear what you guys think. But a lot of his conversations with people as I was watching this develop, he sounds like the exhausted athlete at the end of a game who's just speaking in platitudes and cliches, and everyone sees right through it. We hear Kaysar really succinctly go through, like, I don't trust a word this guy's saying. That's what clues Kaysar into I need to go get safety.
I love that so much. Like the key to all these shows, and it's a simple formula. The answer is yes. The answer is always yes. Like if Cody's end game is to get rid of Kaysar, when Kaysar is just like, am I safe? Yes, motherfucker. You are the safest motherfucker in this house. And when Kaysar leaves that room, it's just like, that motherfucker's going home and doing nothing about it. That he gave every answer but yes. He's like, well, you never know. The world is a fickle place. And I'm just like, what the fuck is this guy? Like, this is your target, right?
See, Johnny, you and I talked a long time ago. I've seen your season and other. I love your show. Just for whatever reason, people can't watch everything. You want to tell me about what's trending right now on Netflix? There's not time in your life to watch everything that everyone's watching. Now, I watch Survivor. My family's a huge, watches it all the time. I haven't seen as many seasons as a lot of people, but what was weird to me is Jeff Probst. That's the name of your guy. Is that, did I say it right? He's like calling out your game.
I refer to him as my guy, but yeah.
Right. That's been a long time since he was your guy. You're right. But he's always like calling out your game and your strategy. I'm like, what? That's like Julie Chen saying, yeah. So you and Janey, you're lying. What are you doing this week? Like in front of the house. Like, oh yeah. Thanks, Julie. That's what he does. That's so weird to me, the way he calls out your game. But where were we going with this again? I totally forgot.
He only calls out the bad guys, and he only calls out the people that he, at the end of the day, like, he wants you to earn it. And I don't have a problem with that. I mean, because I don't know how. I mean, like, I feel like you guys have a lot more shit that you can do in the Big Brother house. Like, I don't know. Like, boredom is, if there's not tribal or a challenge, you are bored. There's nothing on Survivor. Nothing. Right. And so it's just like, okay, I'm going, like, the game starts. I'm on a tribe of 8. I'm competing against 7 people. Well, of those 7 people, there's probably, 3 people that you're really worried about. There's 4 people that you're pretty sure you can send home rather easily. So so you're sitting there going, okay, well, I've mastered these 3 people. I ain't worried about the other 4 people. What you got for me? And so, like, the Jeff fucking with you or the Mark Burnett fucking with you on Survivor was welcomed by me. I'm just like, give me something. I'm like, I'm fucking dying here. Just like fuck with me. I'm begging you. So that was cool with me. And as I said, and I think your bigger players, they also welcome it, because I think it's almost like a badge of honor.
No, I agree with you. The thing about it is it's getting showed in front of everybody, whereas when you are in the privacy of the diary room, they ask you all these questions, and they do throw out a scenario that you maybe never thought about. Oh, what about XYZ? You know what? You never thought about that guy. Now Big Brother puts them on your radar, and they do give you helpful hints. So yes, at times it's good, but that's within the privacy of me and Big Brother, where Jeff's calling you guys out in front of the whole house. Like, and maybe you change your game for the better, or you don't. But I forgot what sent us into this conversation. What was the
we were talking about how Cody's doing as an HOH and how Kaysar was seeing through his comments.
Oh, yes. Janey, love her like a sister for life. Love her family. Her strategy sessions, her interactions with people, never was her strong suit. And I told her that. I told Kaysar that. But competition-wise, look out, man. She's as good as they've ever been in any reality show. That's her strength. And now she's going into the HOH room, and without even snapping your fingers, she is smelling the rat play of Cody, like she basically, like he gave her a list to read it to her. And Kaysar, then right after that, like this guy never said I was safe. This guy never looked me in the eye. You're right. His gameplay, as much as he's gunning for Janelle and Kaysar right off the bat, very poor. I mean, I'm a terrible player. I would have sniffed out his anti-Howieism just like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the goals as the first HOH is to not make a bunch of waves and to not identify a bunch of targets that you have. Look at what he's done already. He's outed the fact that Kaysar and Janelle are targets of his. He's then put up, we've got Kevin and Keisha on the block now. They both feel like they're targets of his. And the way he handled Kevin, that was terrible bedside manner. Kevin feels totally burned by him. I think he's made 4 enemies, and 3 of them are going to be left in the house.
Oh, no, you're 100% correct. he was like, yeah, I'll get a couple, I think when he interviewed with Julie, first show or whatever it was, first HOH, I'm safe. I'll throw a couple people up there and there won't be any ripple effect. I think it's the opposite, like you said. I think he has made 4 enemies, and 3 of them, and a couple of them powerful players that this guy, after thinking he's coasting to the end once again, might be out the door very, very soon. And I'm very excited about that.
Well, his biggest ally right now, from what we saw in the episode, seems to be maybe the most controversial person on the internet right now is Nicole Franzel. Karen, you've been pretty tapped into what people are saying about Nicole. What is the general reaction to her?
Yeah, I'm excited for this because you guys are going to learn episode after episode, week after week. Karen's got the dirt. So give me the dirt and let me know why I need to either love or hate Nicole, because I feel I can go either way, and you're gonna tell me why.
And now we'll take a quick break to hear a word from our sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by Fracture. Fracture turns your digital images into beautiful glass prints. That's right, they print your photos directly on glass, transforming your memories into handcrafted, frameless prints. Like this one, the one behind me, I have the Survivor NSFW logo with me, Matt, and Zack. Oh my God, it's the coolest thing. I'm so excited to have this in my life. Zack, tell us more about Fracture.
Yeah, Fracture helps you focus on the moments that matter most by turning your favorite memories into beautiful glass prints like that one. Fracture prints directly on really durable glass that has soft edges for safe handling. The prints come in multiple sizes, and there's no frame required at all to mount it on the wall. And each print comes with a 100% happiness guarantee. That means if for any reason you don't love your print, Fracture is going to make it right. The glass prints also make unique gifts for your friends and family that they'll never forget. Johnny, can you tell them how they can save?
Yeah, but before I do, I received this huge box with my Fracture print in it. At the bottom, there's even a screw to go into the wall. These guys are ready for this. Like, it's no additional mounting. There's none of that. This thing is ready to rock and roll. And boom, Fracture prints look incredible. You really have to see it to believe it. Upload your photo at fractureme.com/survivor to print your photo on glass today. And we have a special deal, and here's what we got. Go to fractureme.com. That's fractureme.com/survivor. Enter promo code SURVIVOR, and you get 20% off your order.
That's fractureme.com/survivor with promo code survivor, and you save 20% off your Fracture glass print. We thank Fracture for sponsoring this episode of Survivor NSFW.
Summer's here. It's crazy hot outside. We all know that you should drink more water. And by the time you feel thirsty, it's too late. You're already dehydrated. You can't focus and you feel tired.
Drinking enough water is critical for a healthy lifestyle. It increases your brain power and boosts your productivity. It prevents headaches and increases your total focus. Not only that, it improves your skin and mood. It helps your digestion and it gives you energy. It prevents bad breath and can even help you lose weight.
Holy moly, this is the dating cure of if I've ever heard of one. But how much water should you drink each day? 10 cups, a gallon? The good news is it doesn't have to be that complicated. And that's why I start my day with Hydrant, because Hydrant helps you hydrate faster.
What is Hydrant? Well, they've created a refreshing electrolyte powder that you mix directly into water to more efficiently and effectively hydrate your body. It hydrates you quickly and keeps you going for longer.
Each rapid hydration mix has the 4 essential electrolytes your body needs: sodium, potassium, magnesium, and zinc. And it packs a punch to help your body hydrate fast and stay hydrated.
And if you're looking for that extra boost of energy, there's also Hydrant Plus Caffeine, which contains 100 milligrams of caffeine, all from green tea.
And Hydrant is backed by research. The formula was developed by an Oxford scientist. It's also loved by pro athletes like yourself, Jonny Fairplay. Oh yeah, did I mention first place in the men's masters in my last 10K? That's right, thanks to Hydrant. Top performers, celebrities, as and thousands of 5-star reviews.
It's made with real fruit juice powder. It's delicious and refreshing and comes in a wide variety of flavors, including new summer-friendly iced tea lemonade and fruit punch.
I'm loving the fruit punch, but I go back to the blood orange. That's my favorite. And winning a 10K thanks to Hydrant is all the proof I need.
Not only that, though, it's also backed by a 100% satisfaction guarantee. So if you don't love it, send it back for a full refund.
You really need to try it for yourself to see what I'm talking about. It tastes incredible and it works.
Hydrant starts at just $1 a packet for a 30-day supply, and you can save even more with the monthly subscription. But Johnny, tell them what kind of special offers we've got for them.
We got a special deal for our listeners right now. Save 25% off your first order. Huge, 25%. Go to drinkhydrant.com/survivor and enter our promo code survivor at checkout.
That's drinkhydrant.com/survivor and enter promo code survivor for 25% off your first order.
drinkhydrant.com/survivor, enter promo code survivor to save 25%, and we thank them for sponsoring the Survivor NSFW podcast. Guys, remember the days when you were always ready to go? Oh man, do I. I've been taking 4 or 5 Blue Chews just to get up in the morning. I use it. Remember when what's it called on a bike, the kickstand? I have my own kickstand thanks to Blue Chew. Thanks, guys. Well, you at home can increase your performance and get that extra confidence in bed just like me. Listen up. Blue Chew, BLUECHEW.com. That's blue like the color blue.
Blue Chew brings you guys the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, so you know they work. You can take them anytime, day or night, even on a full stomach. And since they're chewable, they work up to twice as fast as a pill, so you can be ready whenever an opportunity arises. If you could benefit from extra function and more confidence where it counts in the wiener area, Blue Chew is a fast and easy way to enhance your performance. And Blue Chew is prescribed online, shipped straight to your door in a discreet package, so no in-person doctor visits, no waiting in the pharmacy, and best of all, no more awkwardness.
They're made in the USA, and since Blue Chew prepares and ships direct, they're cheaper than a pharmacy. Right now, we've got a special deal for our listeners. Visit BlueChew.com and get your first shipment free when you use our promo code SURVIVOR. Just pay $5 shipping. Again, that's BLUEChew.com, promo code SURVIVOR, and you can try it completely for free. Just pay for shipping. Blue Chew's the better, cheaper, fastest choice, and we thank them for sponsoring the podcast.
Man, these guys are great. BlueChew.com. It's kind of like a hurt Peter. They're hard to beat.
Well, pregame, there were rumors, and it got to the point, got more and more ridiculous. I think the first thing I heard was that I heard first that she tried to get Derek, uninvited for our All-Stars. She also supposedly did that with Dan. Supposedly also she called production. This might've been the first rumor that she basically called and cried, right? That she wanted to be on the show. And then the addendum to that other rumor was also that she wanted to play, but she did not want feeds. So that there was this rumor that lasted 15 minutes that we're going to have a season, but we weren't going to have feeds because somebody unnamed female guest didn't want feeds. And of course that would have been Nicole. So that is what we have when we go into the season. Then once the season starts, we see on feeds, I think this was earlier today. Yesterday, I think it was earlier today.
All right, is this a spoiler? Is this speaking part of the show?
It doesn't really. It doesn't affect the gameplay. It's not. Okay. It's just Okay. So the rumor is that Nicole seems to think that Janelle is the one who was spreading those rumors. Again, I have no reason to think that that's true, but if she did, it is a truly A+ move, I would say, because just like before Winners at War, right, the last Survivor season, there were rampant rumors that 4 people, I think it was Boston Rob, Sandra, Parvati, and there was a 4th person, supposedly got a $200,000 advance. Just those 4
Yes.
Right. And then we found out later that Tyson started that rumor preseason to alienate the 4 people who he thought was going to be his biggest competition. So again, I do not know whether Janelle is behind this, but if she is, kudos.
Yeah. So the rumor and innuendo, Howie, is Janelle started the rumor that Nicole is the reason that Dan and Derek aren't on the show for and taking their spot.
What I heard, and like you said, I don't know where the truth is, and maybe it'll come out one day. Because of the COVID, and this show starting just last week, normally starting end of June, ending mid-end of September, or
summer programming, as a Survivor alum refer to Big Brother. Yeah, summer programming.
Summer programming that threw off. Okay, I like that. The second, the B show, Big Brother, the second show, because summer programming, not prime time. I like that, Johnny. That was a good one. We were always there just to promote the Survivor show.
I mean, you have to do the commercial somewhere for the upcoming real stuff.
No, you're right. You're right. That's what. But I heard because of that delay that it threw off Dan's schedule with his coaching and his teaching. I heard Derek's got other things going on because of that. I don't see why Derek wouldn't want to come back and show his stuff. Dan's as competitive as anybody we've ever seen. Why wouldn't he want to come back and strut his stuff one more time as well? So I think maybe with the scheduling, but then I heard, I'm trying to think about Nicole. Somebody was calling her out. Somebody that's not on the show right now. I don't want to give any names just in case I'm wrong, but someone was calling her out. And then she got all mad about it and started going to production with it. And that made waves to some level. But who is this girl that thinks I'm only coming back if there's no live feeds? Like really? That's something like Jedi Hurricane Howie could demand. Nicole, I met her before. I thought she was super cool, and she was like a super fan, but she ended up winning, getting back on, beating Paul. And you can make a few arguments that maybe she should never even been on Big Brother, the first time. And here she is for the third time and thinking she's already coasting to the end. We're going to take out Janelle and take out Kaysar. That kind of bothers me. And because of it, she's, one of my 3 targets I want gone right away. But I did hear she was making waves. I don't know if it was Janelle. I don't know if it was Rachel or Brendan. I don't know. That was calling her out and like trying to make a pregame alliance, and she was shutting it down or contacting Big Brother saying, these people are trying to contact me and they know what's going on. And I heard something from what you're talking about. I really don't have it all stitched together and the facts. I've heard a little in the outside and very similar to what you guys just put out there just now.
Yeah. And I don't see that being flushed out on the primetime show on a Sunday, Wednesday, or Thursday, because they're not going to talk about pregame alliances on the show.
No,
so
it is on the feeds, though, if you're interested in checking some of that out. She's confirmed some of those rumors, I believe, that Karen was talking about, or seemed to very strongly suggest that she can confirm those.
Well, now here's my thing. Going in, not knowing all the pregame alliances, I'm thinking, okay, you got Janelle, you got Kaysar, you got Danny Donato coming back. I thought for sure that those 3 would have a line. They got a lot of history outside of the house from, back, they're basically 3 of them for the most part are old schoolers compared to the new generation. Then I don't think I saw the live feed, but some fans sent me the clips where Danny's talking to Nicole saying Janey's lying with Bailey. They did this before. So it was how does Danny know that if Janey didn't tell her? Now is Danny selling out Janelle and trying to get her, like you said, like with Johnny with his pregame stuff, and now Danny shifted another way because she sees the spotlight on Kaysar and Janelle. Where is all that going? So the things we're talking about here with Nicole F. I think there's a lot of truth to what you guys are spitting out there.
Yeah, and for the record, what I've seen on Evil Dick's Twitter feed, he is none too happy about the Nicole F and Danny alliance.
No.
Neither am I.
No.
No, I'm not at all. I wanted Danny to go tooth and nail with Janelle and Kaysar and get a couple of the other people and show those new players how it's done instead of kissing butt with the new people and Nicole. I mean, I met her in person. I love her, and they're my Big Brother alumni. But you're allowed to have who you want to go with. I got to go with Janey and Kaysar. They're my partners in crime that I played with, and then Danny. I never heard of or seen Big Brother until I got on it. So I go on 6 and 7. So season 8 was the first Big Brother I ever watched on live television. And to this day, one of my favorite, and even watched some live feeds during that season. So, okay, Danny, good friends outside of the house. Johnny and I have been to Vegas with her many a times. So she was one of my pre-gamers that I want. And then I hear her talking in the call and a line. I'm like, oh, no, man, what's going on here?
Yeah, I was hoping for an old school alliance in this house, but it's not going to happen.
No, and I think Cody's another one of those sort of like centerpieces of some pre-gaming stuff. Again, he sort of exposed some of that as he was saying how he has no idea who Keisha is, yet he has intimate knowledge of who Memphis is and knows all about Memphis' game.
Right.
We're on the same season, so that would be a little difficult.
Wasn't she Final 3 and her and Dan booted her?
She was at 4. I don't remember exactly where she placed.
Okay. But she was up there. She was at least she's 4 or 5.
She was there the whole time, yeah.
Yeah, so you don't, like you said, like how does he not know who she is after knowing who Memphis is? I don't know. He's playing some type of game and it's really not a good one. And hopefully that will lead to his quicker demise. I just don't like the people that come in there and think it's a summer vacation and I'm just going to sit in the living room and float my way into the final 3 or 4. I don't like that. When that happens, someone needs to put a target on your chest and blow it up nice and good.
Maybe Cody's a Yelper and he's just familiar with Memphis's restaurateur work.
He gave him a lot of good ratings and he had to keep it going on. And
it's just like, this guy's 5 stars, brother. Let's go.
He's probably looking at that. So outside of the house, I get with this guy and I'm eating and dining in all the right places with a better discount than everybody else is getting. But yeah, I mean, his first OHOH, he like you said, he was in the middle of, do I do it? Does it put a target on me? Does it protect me? Then he thought it was, to his advantage. And as of right now, like you said, I think he's got 3 to 4, maybe people that are gunning for him. And
I would love more than that. I would love him on the block next week. So happily.
That would make it for an historic run. Just a lot of Big Brothers first couple episodes are, their people are quiet and not, trying to figure out what's going on. So they're kind of boring-ish if you want, kind of a slow start. Yeah. Then people start to hate on each other. Then it gets more explosive, but not a better way to start the second week, like you said, and throwing him on the block and maybe putting either Nicole or Christmas up there with him.
Yeah, I'm cool with a Keisha first boot and Cody second. I think that sets the tone for a great season.
I think we've got a house divided, which always makes for a great season.
That's what I want more than anything, right? As long as we have 2 sides, right? If I don't want another season with this big alliance and they just pick off, the stragglers. That's not good TV.
No, you start cheering your team on, and then it's like a football game. It's 35-3 in the fourth quarter. You just shut the TV off because the game is over. Now to this day, and I like to toot my own horn once in a while about this, but Big Brother 6. To this day, the most difficult season of all time to get cast on because they only took 7 of us and they brought a secret partner and put us on there. Now, I can't speak for all the 7 peers on Big Brother 6, but you want to throw a Dr. Will in there, you want to throw a Dan in there. Could Dr. Will or Dan convince me to vote off Rachel, my secret partner, who is a $1 million potential investment for me to get to the end? Or Janelle and Ashley, $1 million potential. Now Kaysar might have sold out Michael, but that's for another story, another time. So how would Dr. Will or the Jonny Fairplays have played on season 6? Because all I knew when, like you said, Karen, the house divided, and to this day, arguably one of the greatest seasons. And if Janelle would have closed it off, you could have popped the cork on the champagne. It'd be the greatest season in Big Brother history. But the wrong side, per the fans, ended up winning due to a lot of my mess ups. But with a house divided, going toe to toe every week, it was like that game going into overtime, and that last shot, that last possession, it kept you on the edge of your seats for the full show. And that's what you like you're talking about. You want them going back and forth instead of some blowout or watching your team get thrown out of the house by week 5. You got no one else left that you're watching.
Yeah, even on season 20, which is the last time we've had 2 sides. It's not exactly, you're not talking at Big Brother 6 when you're looking at level 6 versus Faute. Faute was, didn't the person who set up Faute, Caitlin, sets up Faute and then immediately tries to break it? This is what we're watching, but at least there were 2 sides is my point. Even that was better than what we had last year, like I said, with this big amorphous alliance and, Big
Brother 20 was great. I don't want to get off topic too much. Now, you talked about like greatest cast, our All-Stars in 06. A lot of these shows, for the most part, have a good mix and a good balance. But it comes down to that scenario like you're talking about. Some alliance gangs up and your 4 favorite players now are out of like Big Brother 5. You guys remember that with Jace and with Holly, with Nokomis. I thought over Savage, I thought they had a great cast, but from my liking, people that I wanted to see, Savage, Holly, Jace, they went out so early. It's like, okay, what are we working with here? And the dichotomy of the show just gets thrown off, and that game becomes a so-called blowout compared to, you got the power alliances going toe-to-toe. And that's what happens a lot of times to many, many good casts. They just get broken up the wrong way, and the season gets off on the wrong foot.
Yeah, before we start wrapping up where we're at, I just want to talk a little bit about the safety suite competition. Well, first off, Jonny, you're a DJ. What did you think of the dubstep Simon Says competition?
Well, there's nothing I hate more on the planet than dubstep. I think that actually dubstep trumps We Built This City as my least favorite.
We built this city.
Stop it.
But wait, Jonny, where does Lil Morris fall into that? You're looking at dubstep.
Oh my God, I hate dubstep more than Lil Morris.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I loathe dubstep. There's nothing redeemable about dubstep. Like it's there. Ugh. So yeah, no, I hate that. I did like that they actually had turntables, even though they weren't, doing anything. I don't know. I don't. I like more challenges than I dislike on Big Brother. Because I know that the Survivor purists are just like, Big Brother. They had a challenge with a 4-piece puzzle, and it took a girl 12 minutes.
And she didn't finish it, right? She didn't finish it.
She didn't finish. Yeah. and I understand that. However, Big Brother sometimes has some really, really creative stuff. I feel that the props department tries, and I give credit for that. Whereas Survivor, I think the props department, thrives, but I get it. You go over something, you go under something, you do a puzzle. I got it. Whereas I feel Big Brother attempts throughout the season to make some unique, different, visually fun stuff. And so I was cool for one of the first. I mean, let's go back in time to the premiere episode with the table maze thing. How unfair was that for the guys versus the girls? As far, that was an upper body challenge, and it's like, okay,
and the girls do the harder route.
Yeah. Janelle, in my opinion, we had to go to the back far right corner, more time consuming.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought that was imbalanced, unfair challenge completely. And then again, maybe you're saying, I don't know how heavy it was, for the guys.
It looked, you could tell from their, it looked like it. If it wasn't heavy, it was heavy attempt 2, and it was a really heavy attempt 3. So, as I said, like the DJ challenge, I don't know. I didn't have a problem with it. Big Brother loves to do new twists. I feel for the most part they're pretty good on their twists. I think a lot of the twists favor production, and that's fine. I understand people's dislike of that, but at the end of the day, they're making a fucking television show, and they're trying to keep the best personalities on the television show for as long as possible. So I mean, say Sopranos was a reality show and Tony Soprano is eliminated the first episode. That's a pretty fucking television show.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was alluding with the dichotomy of the imbalance or your favorite players going early. You're gonna watch if Tony Soprano's not on the show anymore?
No.
Exactly.
I don't give a fuck what fucking Paulie Walnuts is gonna do at the end of the game.
Well, how many seriously in the history of Survivor and Big Brother? There's winners you never talk about. So it's not all about that. You want to bring what is TV about? Entertainment.
Some of them were on season 40, Howie.
yeah, exactly. But you can always remember Johnny. What?
Yeah, where's your coverage of all the season 40 players, Jonny Fairplay? I'm like, well, I don't know. I got the winner.
Yeah, you want to see the Jonny Fairplays. You want to see the Hurricane Howies. Some people don't even remember who won my season 6. That was Maggie, the nurse from Las Vegas. Some people don't even remember her, and she was the winner. So
until Sandra went back on Heroes Villains, most people that walk up to me, they're like, "Hey, you're the guy that won. You won Survivor." I'm like, "No." They're like, "Oh yeah, Rupert did. That's right."
Right. There you go. People want to remember the people they can relate to, the funny guys, the entertaining guys, the villains. Because at the end of the day, that's what TV is all about. They brought back this season for All Stars. They brought people that were either out within a day or they brought like top 3 finishers. And some of these top 3 finishers, does that equate to entertainment value television? No, not at all.
Yeah, well, Maggie did not give a lot of entertainment in season 6, but she did go home with the check.
She did. At the end of the day, she won the game and played good. But so far, they haven't asked her back for one competition, one all-star show, and I don't think I've ever seen her doing a podcast. I mean,
no, but that's my point: is that the person who is the best, certainly even the best player, and certainly the best TV character, or the combination of the two, that often has or generally has nothing to do with the person who wins.
Right. Yeah. And
that's all right. They still do their best to keep them on the show for as long as possible.
Yeah. Well, the two that are saved this time are Janelle and Kaysar. And Johnny, another one of your favorite things on top of dubstep, Janelle gets a punishment because she's going to be the saved one, and she gets to wear a star leotard costume thing that Enzo calls a bootleg Teletubby.
I love that.
I thought they were sponsored by Carl's Jr. and that was the famous star.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
I knew it looked familiar. I couldn't place it.
Yeah, so I would imagine Janelle is a fan of Hardee's, so we're good.
The funny thing is, when I first saw that pop on Instagram or wherever it was, I thought that was from our All-Star show. I'm like, I don't remember wearing that outfit, and then I realized that was her safety punishment. I mean, if you even want to call it that. I'll wear whatever you want me to wear. If you say I'm not going home in week 1, I mean, that's not a punishment to me. You know, going on slop is a punishment. Being a have-not, put on a costume and you're guaranteed to survive week 1 of an all-star show. I'll sign up for that every day of the week.
I hate the costumes. However, in this instance, knowing Janelle, being friends. I think Janelle's pretty happy with it. Like, it's just like, oh, wow, a costume in which you get to look at me and you're not really making fun of me and look at me. And I'm just like, she's cool with that. So, it's different when it's your friend, like if your friend's happy, then how can you not be happy for them?
Oh, no, absolutely. I was ecstatic when I watched, that Kaysar say protected both of them. Okay, good. I don't want Kaysar going home for the 4th time in 3 shows and before sequester. I want him getting a shot at least getting a sequester this time, if not going on to win the show. But yeah, like I said, I'll put on that. I'll wear that costume for the first 6 weeks, but they mean I'm not going home for the first 6 weeks. Come on, that's not a tough punishment.
I'm not even like playing for $500,000 and I want that costume. Johnny, I mean, if you have the connections to get me that costume, I promise I will wear it every year for the rest of my life.
Well, it's Hardee's.com or Carl.
I love this stuff. And
I'm sure Janey will sell that on eBay when she gets out of the house.
Yes, it'll be available.
No, but Howie, I think you might be on my side with this because I know that Zack and Johnny are on the other side of this. the cheesiness of Big Brother that's part of what I love. It took me a little bit to get into that because I came to it from Survivor, and Survivor takes itself very, very seriously. And what I love about Big Brother is that it doesn't take itself seriously. So he's wearing a big yellow starfish costume. I love it.
No, they've been busting that out since season 8, ever since they put Jennifer in that red unitard. I mean, to this day, my favorite seasons are Big Brother 2, the first one, Will won. I love 6. Obviously, I was on it, and it had some great, had a lot of, it had it all. It had romance, had physical fights, had verbal fights, had competitiveness. All Stars, you all talk. I didn't like All Stars. I wasn't ready to come back. I got my butt kicked nice and good by Chilltown. I got backstabbed, so I got a lot of bad memories of that one, even though people put it at the forefront. And then I loved that Season Evil Dick one, but I mean, maybe because that was my first one I ever watched on television. Maybe that's why it's got the special place in my heart. Other than that, yeah, 20 was good with Tyler a couple years ago, but the rest of them, there are some good parts, some good bad parts, and I just haven't really liked them in their entirety. But yet, okay, I'm an alumni of the show, and then at the same time, it's a guilty pleasure, even though I'm like, this sucks, I hate this guy, and I can't stop watching it. I go on the feeds, I can't stop watching it. I record it, I watch it again, even if I don't like it. So yeah, it's got me hooked.
I'm right there with you. So final thoughts on where we're at the end of nominations. We've got Kevin and Keisha going up since Kaysar and Janelle saved themselves in the safety suite. What are we thinking about how this week's turning out? Who's playing well, who's playing poorly, and who's going to go home?
I think I'm guessing Keisha goes, and I feel she was on the lower end of the food chain for me on being there in the first place. So I'm kind of cool with it.
Well, I think she was probably, from everything I've seen, the last person asked. And this also might be like a Candace, Cody, and Blood versus Water situation where she's quite easy to throw out because she wasn't involved in pregaming. No one had heard her name or seen her floated. So she's kind of a shock to be there.
Yeah.
Well, you said shocked to be there. For some reason, she seems very scared to be there. Like, oh my gosh, all these people. And I haven't been here in all these years. And I don't know if I can compete with the Joneses anymore. So I guess if you want to get rid of that person that maybe doesn't really belong, then yes. Kevin, he went to Final 3. I want to say, I think he went to Final 3 during his season.
Yeah. Look, I felt like Lydia was calling the shots for him collectively, though.
No, you could argue that very easily. They had their little thing, and then Shima went because she threw her mic in the hot tub. But what I like about him is he got, like you said, Cody didn't think he was going to make any waves. He is bitter now. If he survives the block, he is gunning for Cody. Yeah, so I want him to stay in the game. So
and Keisha acted like she had not gone to Cody's room, and we didn't see any evidence otherwise. And it's just like, okay, let me get this straight. So you're worried you can't take, just 30 seconds out, just like, hey, just want to check out your room. Just wanted to say hi. We don't know each other. I'm Keisha. We're cool. No, her gameplay is, oh man, I'm not going in there.
No, you're right. And this is someone that's been brought back a second time and has potentially watched all 22 seasons of Big Brother. What are you thinking? Like you said, just go in there and talk about soccer or something, or
your
do
name.
Something.
You don't get the name All-Star by going, yeah, I'm not going to go in the room.
That's the big problem, especially in our season, because here you got 10 guys gunning for season 6 and the 4 of us, and people just sitting there, oh, I'm just hanging out, and oh, I'm a float. Floating's great in any season, not for an all-star show. You lose in week 1 or 2. You never have my vote if you come in trying to float to win an all-star season. And I hear Janelle talking about it again already on the feeds of the show, like float. Don't float on an all-star season, man. Come guns blazing.
If you're potentially on the bottom end and Chilltown's got HOH, you're going to the HOH room to be like, we're cool, right, guys?
Yeah.
I mean,
Kevin at least tried. And so that whole conversation, it was cringeworthy with Kevin and Cody, but at least he tried. Kevin described himself as a hot, awkward potato. In those words. You know, I'll say it wasn't great, but at least he tried.
Yeah. I was cool. As I said, I love Howie's take in that, you know, he's now created an enemy, and I'm cool with that. I want Kevin joining up with whoever to go after Cody.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, the twist they throw in there, he's potentially going for two people. They knew that they were Cody was coming after him, and then he had to switch 360 or 180-degree change and put up two different people now, making potential 4 enemies. And like you said, now one of them very bitter, but hopefully the one to stay, gunning for Cody. No, that's great on the part of Big Brother, and that puts joy in our minds, because the guy that's in power right now, we want to see him gone, and that's helping with the dichotomy of the show early on.
There you go. All right, so who's everybody's pick to go this week?
I think it's going to be Keisha. I hope it's going to be Keisha.
Yeah.
Again, if Kevin goes, I can't feel too bad because it's not like he played well, but I think it's going to be Keisha.
Yeah, Keisha as well. I was a huge Keisha fan in season 10. I don't think she really showed up so far from what I've tuned into on the live feeds and what I've seen on the episodes.
There you go. Howie?
Well, you might be right. If she was the last pick, like you said, she might have just got called like 3 weeks ago and wasn't ready mentally or physically for it. And here she is. It kind of shows, no matter what's going on in her mindset or her life. But from everything we've talked about, from me seeing very limited amounts, that Kevin says he is my number one target. No offense, Keisha. Send her packet, keep Kevin, and then turn him loose on Johnny's boy Cody.
Johnny's boy. All right.
So, real quick, our winner picks, and then we'll end with some quick spoiler related items
And a photo of Bigfoot.
Oh, and a photo of Bigfoot. All right. So, Karen, your winner pick.
Still going for Kaysar.
All right. Zach?
Danny Donato.
Oh man.
Who did I say the other night? Because
I think you said Danny.
I think I said Danny too.
And I think I said Kaysar, and now I'm too worried.
Okay.
Yeah, see, I'm loyal. I don't turn on my favorites just because he didn't have a bad week.
Hey, I live in Cincinnati, so I am trained to be fair weather in all things. So I'll change from Kaysar to Danny.
Okay. Then I'm going to change just on principle. So tonight I'm going Memphis.
That's a good
one. I like that pick. I'll be honest. I like that pick a lot. Yeah. If I didn't have 3 other dogs in my fight, I'd probably go with Memphis. And I like those odds. If I was betting, I would take those odds. Have you betted? Yeah, super cool. Came up to me. I love it. Yeah, I love him.
I told him on the premiere episode, like, I have him as far as players lower tier, not a diss. I just, Dan was Dan, there was Memphis. Real life elite.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. The funny thing is, all these guys I cheer on the show, I hate them in real life. And the people that I hate on the show, I become best buds. Like I hated Johnny on Survivor, and we're best buds. I'm just kidding. But no. Memphis came up to me, started talking, and I didn't even know if he knew me. I didn't know if he watched that far back. And yeah, he's Howie, blah blah blah. Yeah, super cool guy. And like you said, bro, yeah, he could. I could see him going a long way, maybe win the whole thing. But I gotta stay loyal to my Big Brother fam that I played with, Janey and Kaysar, and then Danny, first one I ever got to watch on live TV. So I'm pulling for collectively Janey, Kaysar, and Danny D. They're working. They have their work cut out for them, but I'm hoping one of the 3. It'd be great if they got the final 3, but hopefully one of them goes home with $500,000.
There you go.
Howie, there's one thing I'm shocked we haven't heard at all. I think on the live.
Super Bowl, baby! Woo!
Well, there's that, but there's a catchphrase you came up with for Kaysar that we haven't heard at all.
What up, Kaysar?
There it is.
You know how that started? There was some song Janelle knew, and we'd be like, our alliance was the Sovereign Six. What up, Ray? What up, Sarah? What up, James? What up, Howie? What up, Ashley? What up, Janey? What up, Kaysar?
I love it.
That's where that came from.
There you go.
I was saying that to him on the phone 3 weeks ago, and he couldn't break his non-disclosure and say, "That's right, Howie. I'll be on." Didn't do it.
I lie to my friends. How great is this guy?
Right. It's like me in the real life talking to Johnny. Yeah, coming over tomorrow, Howie. Never see him.
Well, Karen, let's dive into some spoilers. What stands out? What are some things we need to know going into the veto episode on Wednesday and the eviction on Thursday?
Well, the veto episode on Wednesday, we will hopefully get to see the competition itself. And did you get a good sense of what that was? Because I heard some pieces of it, but I didn't really understand.
I'm guessing it's going to be something quite large because so far we hadn't seen them in the backyard yet through nominations. I don't think they'd been allowed in the backyard at all.
They've been out now.
They have been now.
Yeah, I noticed it. I'm watching the feeds. I'm like, why are they all staying in the house? And I could see just the darkness of the backyard door wasn't open. I'm like, I guess they're building for the next HOH competition or
right. We weren't even sure what was going to happen in terms of all the construction in the backyard, and same thing because of COVID and because they weren't out for the first X days, that there was a concern that they weren't going to have the backyard at all. I mean, that would have been one way to limit it. But, that would be a great way to really want to test people mentally, put them in that house for 80, 90 days and don't let them go outside.
Well,
so they are outside.
I don't want to see that.
But the way that they are building it, again, this is speculative because I don't know what they're doing. But I do know with production that they've made like these pods of staff, and they're supposed to stay with their pod, right? Every day you work with the same 10 or 12 or 15 people. And so so even if they were to have an outbreak, hopefully it wouldn't spread through the entire, staff. So, but because of that, there is at least a theory that the builds could be taking a lot longer. So we'll see tomorrow, we'll see on Wednesday, right? Either we'll see something really, really spectacular for the first veto, or we'll just see a regular competition that took 3 times as long to put together. Okay. That I don't know.
Maybe I thought because that first event was that was pretty souped up. Maybe they took them 3 days to tear it down, but I doubt that's the reason.
Well, the one thing's still spinning, and Cody noticed it, so it's okay.
Oh, geez. Don't get me started on that.
Yeah, that was bad. That was really bad.
I went over my head, but most things on Big Brother or Survivor do. So
the first HOH competition, they had to jump from thing to thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The thing was still spinning when it was Cody's turn, so he knew which one was the.
Oh.
Which is why his time was like a fraction of everyone else doing quite well. And then after Cody went, Julie was like, "Whoa, slow down. We have to reset all the."
Did she say that?
Yeah.
So they're not spinning. Yeah.
Ooh, that's the privilege of a live show. I guess you can't control it. The events is wow. That's because I mean that was a knee blown out waiting to happen. I mean
yeah. So now he saw the one spinning, so he just jetted.
Yeah, I mean, especially with what just happened with Christmas. I mean, but 3 years ago, I was thinking, is this really such a great idea?
They were hoping she'd break her leg again. That was the plan.
They wanted to send her home again, or send her to the final 3 once again.
Are you familiar with Francesca? So they love when history repeats itself.
Well, we've seen so much of Christmas so far. She may as well be back in the hospital.
Right.
There's that.
We've not seen a lot of her. You're saying?
No.
I heard her. That's all I heard her voice when I in the live feed, like just for the whole time, but on the show, yeah.
Yeah, and I think she's the only one without a diary room so far.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
There you go.
I'm trying to think. She has not had one. I'm trying to think if anybody else has not had one. Yeah, she's certainly, in terms of invisibility, she's up there.
Yeah.
Well, this show is going into Halloween this year. I hope it doesn't go into Christmas, if you know what I'm saying.
Well,
all right. Any other scoops or
are we going to talk about what happened in the veto competition, Zach? What are we?
Go for it. The veto winner is Enzo.
And last I heard, that the veto probably will not be used, but I have not been able to really follow much today, so that could have changed.
Okay. There it is. And Howie, I see you on the move. Are we going to end with the mentioned photo?
No. Wait, before he does that, though, there is one question that nobody has asked Hurricane Howie here. I feel like the fans need to know. I need to know. I'm disappointed that you guys have not asked. So, Howie, we all want to know. Do you still like boobies?
I am the weatherman on TV nowadays. And some things will have to live vicariously through Jonny Fairplay for me. So you let him you can answer that now for you, or if you want to talk after the podcast, we won't get into. I'm a much more mature person than the Hurricane Howie of 05 and 06. I just play more with a governor now, or like a rev limiter, because I got to control, because I am still on television in the public eye. And I just, some things you just got to assume, and assuming doesn't always make a, you know what, out of you and me. You know the true answer to like that. Like you knew Janelle was coming back for All-Stars, whether she said she was or she wasn't.
Yeah. All right. So is that Big Brother? Is that Bigfoot behind you?
Yeah. Let me see here. So here we are. So August of 2016, he walked up to within about 15 feet of me. That is an artist rendering from Lauren Lapka. She was a reporter I worked with in Joplin, Missouri. And that looks very, very, very close to, that's actually Tukwa. He was at the time a 7-foot adult adolescent male Bigfoot. And yeah, just smiley face. Only was there about 2-3 seconds before he took off into the thin air. But they are real. They are alien beings that travel through portals. They are energy. They are friendly. They have the ability to heal. They can mind speak. They travel through portals. And like I said, I've been on Big Brother. I've been hanging around with the reality peeps for over 15 years now. I've scuba dived. I've been on the weather. Might be the most fascinating thing that I've come across in my life. Just very surreal. We'll talk, the three of you, one of these days. I'm going to get you out there in the mountains with me. You'll have an encounter. I promise you. It'll be life-changing. I'm dead serious.
I feel I played Survivor with your Bigfoot.
He was probably out there. And if you won a few challenges, Johnny, he might have been there assisting you to some level.
Oh no, the Bigfoot I was playing was not assisting me in any way. It was his.
Oh yes. Yeah, the winner of the last 3 survivors, Rupert.
Yeah, there you go. All right, before we let you go, we gotta tell the story. Howie, you and I are in Nashville for the reality TV convention.
No. Oh no. Okay, go ahead.
Now remember, he does have a career now.
I know.
You want to tell the story?
We'll see if he's still up. So we're signing autographs at this convention center across town. So this made the USA Today. This was a big. Oh, there we go. He just walked us there for no reason. He had the picture right there on his desk.
Yeah, it didn't. I'm low on the ink, so it didn't print out that well.
Okay.
But Johnny will sign this, and he'll send it to somebody.
Oh, sweet. There you go. So if you become a patron, go to adfreeNSFW.com. One of the next 10 patrons gets an autographed Bigfoot picture from Howie. Well, I'll get it to you. So anyway, so USA Today does a story on this reality TV convention. On the other side of town is the Dukes of Hazzard, like 30th anniversary. There's like 80,000 people there. There's 12 people at this reality TV convention. There's 200 reality stars, but there's 12 fans in attendance.
I go see Daisy Duke too in a heartbeat.
Well, I mean, of the options, Tom Wopat. I mean, come on. I mean, yeah. I'm good friends with John Schneider, of course, but you know
you're not? Are you really?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, I'm a huge Smallville fan, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, I mean, I always thought, because like my dad wasn't around when I was a kid. I always kind of envisioned, with blonde hair, blue eyes. I kind of always envisioned Bo Duke as my dad.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he might be. That's awesome.
Well, I mean, my mom got around, so who knows? So anyway, so we do this convention. We end up going out. Did we end up at MJ from the Real World's house, and that's where he choke slammed me in his on his carport, I believe. Were you there for that part of the evening?
Well, is that how you end up in the hospital with the gown and the bracelet?
No, that was the last night. So I got choke slammed, and then we end up at a bar downtown, and I get kicked out of the bar. And you're with me at this point. And I bring a lady back to the hotel. You ride with me back to the hotel somehow. And you end up in my room, and you're giving commentary during sex.
That must have been a different
Oh, stop it.
Benson, Johnny. You might have been with Rhino. Maybe I think it was Rhino.
No,
I remember hearing the story through Rhino. You guys, having a good time in Memphis.
No. It was Nashville. You were in the room watching, giving commentary. Because I remember you going, check out his lightsaber.
I remember that story, and it sounds just like the way you're telling it through Rhino, or was it Burton or somebody? Yeah, I remember them telling me about that, and it was
you were in the room.
You had a great time. That's a legendary story that I've actually told many times. I just wish I was there with you, Johnny.
You were there. Protect the guilty.
He'd like to still have a career tomorrow.
I understand. Protect the guilty. We're fine.
No, I remember Burton and Rhino I was like I was there. They told it so vividly, that story about you, yes, having a lot of fun in that hotel room, throwing shoes across the room. They were telling me about
you.
I think that was you. Was giving commentary. I'd probably go Howie, Rhino, and last Burton. That voice would just kind of kill it, I think.
Yeah, I heard that story over the years, Johnny. You're legendary. Whoever it was that was there with you. It was a great story. Yeah.
I'm not sure there was anyone there, but that's but I'm sure I was having sex. All right, Howie, I appreciate you lying at the end of the episode. That's great. Everything else you said
that's what reality TV is all about, my friend.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Howie, where can everyone find you on social media, and if they want to get the weather in Alaska?
They want to get the weather in Alaska, you turn into KTUU.com. So channel 2 up here, we are NBC, channel 2, KTUU up here in Anchorage, Alaska. It's a statewide broadcast. So if you're anywhere in the state of Alaska, you can watch me doing the morning weather. Goes from 5 until 7 o'clock in the morning, and replays on channel 5, our sister station, from 7 to 9. So I'm on 4 hours technically in the morning. And obviously, if you want to go to the KTUU.com, I post my weathers every day on there. And if you want to go to Instagram, I'm a Hurricane Howie. I'm out there in the cosmos. I don't tweet much. I forgot. I think my Twitter's BB Howie or something.
You last tweeted in like 2017.
Yeah, some technological advancements are difficult for me unless I get, one of my handlers, one of my Big Brother helpers, showing me the way. But yeah, I'm doing the weather right now, and we'll see. It's going good. I'm having a lot of fun. I really enjoy it, but I also enjoy watching these reality shows, just like what we're here talking about. Great time in my life, and great times. And I want to call Rhino after the show and talk about that encounter in about the little story you just had there, Johnny. And
I'm thinking you were both in the room at this point.
I don't know. That's a long time ago. I just remember hearing the story. It was a great one.
Well, thank you for listening. We'll be back again Thursday night after the eviction episode, live breaking down everything that happened, and we'll be joined by Cyrus from the Real World and winner of the challenge.
Yeah. Anything else? Yeah, and if you guys are enjoying this and you would like to watch this ad-free, that is possible. Go to adfree.nsfw.com. We have tons of bonus content. You're added to the secret Survivor NSFW Patreon group on Facebook. We do a weekly Q&A. We have all kinds of bonus audio and video each and every week. It's a really fun deal. We have a really cool group together in our Facebook group. So check that out at adfree.nsfw.com. You have lots of perks like sticker packs like these, and we do autographed pictures each and every month. As I said, adfree.nsfw.com. And if you're just watching in or listening on Apple Podcasts, click that subscribe button. Also on Spotify and wherever else you pod, and on YouTube. Links to everything there at survivornsfw.com, and get your t-shirt from johnnyfairplay.com. With each and every purchase, you get a phone call from me, Jonny Fairplay, thanking you for your purchase. I have a Big Brother NSFW shirt on the way. I'm so excited. But this shirt, possibly my favorite. I have me, Karen, Zach, and Matt. And that's also available at johnnyfairplay.com. Hurricane Howie, Jedi Master that you are, thank you so much for your time. I'm sorry that we kept you up so late. You're going to be waking up so early, COVID-free, given the weather out there in Alaska.
COVID free. I just did I got my test back actually. Yeah, I am COVID free. So I don't know if we talked about that, but I am. But thank you. And Karen, yeah, Johnny, Zach, I appreciate you guys having me out there. It's great talking Big Brother, great talking reality. Just it brings back a blast from the past. Great stories, great everything. I really appreciate you guys having me on.
This was so much fun. Super Bowl, baby.
Super Bowl, baby.